Good evening, everybody. This is the DLLS Stars post-game show. A little Stars After Dark action tonight. Late night hockey as Dallas gets the win, beating the San Jose Sharks tonight by a 5-3 scoreline. If you're not sure, just check above my forehead. You'll see the score as we are ready to go. John Shapiro, Craig Ludwig, Sam Nestler, our producer Ryan Vaughters. Before we get into tonight's action, let's remind everybody we have a brand new hat collection available on the DLS website. Look at those beauties, including the Stars one, bright green. You know you love it. Get yours today. Go to alldlls.com. It's a branded Bills snapback, good-looking hats. And, of course, we're going to hear more about it from Luds in about 45 minutes or so. But until then, let's get into this one, guys.
How do you spell effective?
No,
With
it's
an E?
effectively.
With an E.
Yes.
It starts. Okay. Thank you.
Do you want to go any further with that one, Sam?
No, carry on.
Okay, that's a non sequitur, and that was weird. And I guess Sean,
I was
dark.
Yeah.
Might as well get weird, right?
I was ready to take the heat from that. I mean, I believe in the last year I've completely worked on effectively taking that word out of my vocabulary as much as possible for the amount of time.
Pregnant pause of effectively.
I was just typing it in my article. I wasn't making fun of you.
Oh dear. It's going to be a long night, isn't it? All right, let's go to the guys on the other side of the screen here. What are your initial thoughts of this one? Stars never trailed. Oh, boy, that San Jose Sharks team, they don't quit, do they?
I would say that this, what's that kid's name? Celebrini, Macklin Celebrini kid.
Heard of him.
He's a pretty good player.
Boy, might have
a future at this hockey thing.
Yeah, Sean, he's one of those guys that it probably doesn't even do it justice to watch him on TV. You need to be there in person, and I can imagine if they're probably work. Well, they all were to me, but just sitting on the bench and seeing a guy like that live, like you're playing as an opponent, going, yeah, my lace broke and my stick. I got to take my stick right now because he's out there. I'll be right back. He's one of those guys that he's an electric player. If they ever go ahead and find the right people to surround him on that team, they're heading in the right direction with that kid.
One of the things that stood out to me I watched the second period. I think it was second period, and then the first half of the third period, I switched over to the San Jose broadcast because I like kind of hearing what other teams have to say and other broadcasters have to say when it comes to Dallas. And they made the note that this was the third straight game that Celebrini has played with different wingers. Third straight game he's played with different wingers. And so that is to me, that stands out pretty notably, right? Like if you were to watch that game in a vacuum and you see what he does and you see him play with those guys and you're like, oh, well, this is that's some great chemistry with those guys. And he does have chemistry with those guys. Not to say that, but like he's doing it with everyone right now. And if you went back and watched what he's done recently, like there's a reason he went number 1 overall. There's a reason that he's in these Hockey Canada conversations. He is like, when you talk about the kind of the players you build a franchise around, that's what he is, and he's fun to watch. And I hope it's like if you watch tonight, you don't tell me you don't want to watch more Sharks hockey just to watch him again. Like if tonight was your kind of taste of what he is. So
you look at that quote or that comment that Jerry just made that Ryan had on the screen. He says he's like McDavid, McKinnon, and the like, where he has the puck, you kind of hold your breath. He churns his feet like like McKinnon, right? McDavid's got those fast, quick strides, but McKinnon sort of has the choppy feet, but he gets going. You can just see him, but he's a little bit more. I don't know if graceful is the right word, because McKinnon is just like a freight train. Once he gets going, he's just going to plow through. I feel like he's sort of a little bit of a combination. Celebrini is. Of a little bit of each of those guys.
Yeah, McKinnon for me is an explosive, powerful guy. But Celebrini is he's like a water bug up there. You know what I mean? He's all over the map, and I can imagine how tough it is. He's one of them that you really don't want to line up. You know what I mean, for one of them open ice hits, because he'll make you look foolish. But he's a special kid.
He's got his head way up too.
Yeah.
See how high he holds his head up?
Oh yeah. He's also such a Luds. I'm curious, as you work with guys you coach the 18U team, you coach guys kind of around up. To me, he's one of the most effective, fun players to watch. He doesn't rely on that Mohawk style. It's not something he ever relies on, but like sometimes you see players use that as a crutch. It's just, for him, it's such a tool in the bag where he is so the amount of space he's able to take. I'd be fascinated if someone was to go and do a study on like how much space he can change directions within that 6 foot, within that small radius in the circle, just with the way he works off the Mohawk edges and everything like that. Because there's a lot of players that do it. Why, Sam? I'm drawing a blank on the Stars prospect who overly skates that way. Strangis, for him, it's just a tool that, as you said, Lud's like, he finds ways to create additional angles that that other people just don't even know exist out there.
Yeah, the word that comes to me is escapability. Like he's able to escape areas in tight areas, and like you say, he doesn't use it all the time. So for the guys that use it all the time, remember back in the day, the first time I ever saw it was by Alfie Dolan. It was the first guy that I ever saw use it a lot, and I was kind of baffled by it. Like, what are you doing? What's wrong with him? But he was able to, turn them, 10-2. And but then I told the guys this last year that then rules were a little bit different. He wasn't the escapability wasn't there, because what I would do, because I ultimately got to play with them, but playing against them, I found it pretty easy, because all I would do is I'd take my stick, and as soon as he go to 10-2, I'd just take my stick and I'd stick between his legs, because now he can't cross over anymore. And all you had to do is you just got to get him and then push yourself into him so he doesn't fall down, because ultimately it'd be I don't know how many times I probably held him up so that he actually didn't fall. And he didn't, and he wasn't, but Alfie wasn't a guy that had a lot of speed either. He used it a lot. He used it quite a bit. And I think it was hard for a lot of us because we had never really seen it before. Now it just seems to be something they can all do. But this one here he does it at full speed.
Yeah.
Guys, the birthday boy today, Jake Oettinger, I thought played a heck of a hockey game, especially considering it's a 5-3 game. A lot of times you look at that score line and kind of dismiss the goaltending a little bit as, well, whatever. But goaltending was a huge part of this game, both good and bad. We'll get into that. But I thought that Jake, he finished with 34 saves. This is another one of those games where if you just looked at the final score, you'd think, oh, the Stars had this in hand. And they never trailed in this game. However, in large pockets, the Sharks had momentum. They were pushing, and Jake was the one that kept San Jose from tying the game at any point and ultimately coming back and maybe getting something out of it.
Yeah, for me, I don't know if Jake will be, maybe for Dallas guys, he will. He probably won't come out of this with a star, but he was that unsung hero I just think that there was too much actually that I felt was going on in front of him. Coverage wise, and just little things that were happening in front of him that shouldn't have. We've seen the guys play a little bit better in front of him, so I thought he needed to be good early and throughout the game.
That was the key, right? We talked about his struggles early lately, and last time we did this, actually, the after dark situation, we was let in a soft goal and then play really well. He didn't do that tonight, and San Jose was the better team early on. Stars were having a little bit of a breakdown, and then later, which I'm sure we'll talk about, he made the saves he needed to keep him in the game, and then later he made 2 or 3 stealing goals from Celebrini and other guys. So really good game for him tonight, and he's starting to put a lot of those really good games together.
It's interesting looking at it too with the juxtaposition. Obviously, we'll talk about the game-winning goal for Dallas, right? And we'll talk about the decision making that happened on that. But for me, I think it was either the third or fourth shot of the game the Sharks had, and I can't remember who had it, but third or fourth shot of the game coming down the coming down to Jake's right. He's basically on the right post. And it's one of those plays that, in the grand scheme of things, doesn't look like a big play. And it's not, right? It's coming down the right side, and it's shot right in, and it's a shot about 6-7 inches off the ice, right pad height, and he just gobbles it up and holds it. That's the type of play that, as silly and as boring as that play is, that really that's the type of play for me that solidified what Jake was this game. He doesn't create more. That's one where the guy at the other end of the ice tonight turned those into rebounds that the Stars hopped on. There's other goalies where that maybe turns into something else. And I know Jake faced 34 shots tonight, right? I would guess if we were to go through and really take a deep dive and break through some of the video control, some of the control of the rebound control here, this might be a 40-shot night. If Jake probably stops this from becoming a 40-shot night simply by limiting some of the damage he did even before it became those opportunities. And I think that first period, right? Like, I know the Stars, the goal gets over, the high stick goal gets overturned, which helps. But this is a game where, without Jake's work, without kind of his solidity, his calmness in the first period here, you could easily look at this as maybe this might be a 2-2 game. This could be a 2-1 game at the end of the first period, and the Stars aren't in the opportunity that they have to take advantage of a gaff at the other end, like they do at the end of the second there.
When you look back at this one, and we'll go through it after the ad break, Luds, are you feeling like this team is doing enough of, they're I was texting with Sean right before we went on tonight for post game tonight, and I said to him, I feel like they're the second best team for too many minutes of a game like this one, especially with the 5-on-5 play. But boy, are they good at special teams and goaltending. It's a conversation we've had for a while now. It feels like they're built to win close playoff games. But in a game like this, maybe, I don't know if I want to, maybe I'm not giving the Sharks enough credit. I guess I'm thinking of, you have a 3-1 lead. You had that overturned goal. It goes in your favor. Would you have liked to have seen them maybe get the fourth one earlier and put them away because San Jose, or should we just say simply, hey, you found a way to win a hockey game. Let's not get too, splitting of hairs here.
I think I'm at the point where I'm kind of describing this team as a team that can outscore its mistakes. They have that ability to, again, with what Rantanen does and, Hintz and all the top guys, why they're big time guys. They score goals. Rantanen, again, with a couple of the passes and the plays that he made tonight, the pass that he made to Hintz, the one that he made to Wyatt, those aren't just normal passes. He did a couple different things on those passes that other players wouldn't do. They wouldn't see the holes there. They wouldn't know how to brush a puck off of a player that's got a stick out and a perfect stick on puck kind of thing. And just the way that he brushes it off to get it to Wyatt in that spot. They've got that big play guy. So when you have these pockets, and then now you've got Jake. I mean, we've been talking about Jake, and Jake comes up and makes those saves at those moments. And then these guys can go down and score a goal. And so if they ever get to where you're never flawless, but if you ever get to where you're really good in your own zone, but again, there's no perfect team out there. But what these guys can do, they believe in what they're doing. And I think that's why they get extra rope, and you don't want to have some of these guys on a short leash because they have the ability to come back like they do, to score that timely goal. And it's impressive what they're doing.
All right. We are going to break all this down. I have a follow-up for it, but we have to hit an ad break. So let's stay on time. This is, after all, Stars After Dark. And a lot more to get to. Goals, screenshots, maybe even a video clip from the pregame show. All that and more coming up on the DLS Stars postgame.
Oh, no.
What kind of dreams did you have when you were a kid? What did you want to be when you grew up? Besides, the starting shortstop of the Boston Red Sox. But hey, I was from New England. Still am. maybe you wanted to be Mike Modano, or even better, how about Craig Ludwig? Yes, everybody wanted to be Craig Ludwig. Some still do, maybe. How about starting your own business? Have you been thinking about it? You got to be the boss, right? And you want it to do well. Well, Shopify is the e-commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the US. Shopify even powers the DLLS merch store, like my captain shirt right here. And of course, they have you covered with website creation, product descriptions, email and social media marketing, and more. They also have AI tools designed to help you maximize sales. Turn your big business ideas into with Shopify on your side. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/allcity. That's shopify.com/allcity. Prize Picks is one of the guys that brought you this episode tonight and currently bringing it to you. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement of the entire NFL season, or even the NHL if that's your bag, probably, with Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Simple to use, easy, just pick more or less than at least 2 player stats, and if you get your picks right, you can cash in. And it's available in more than 40 states, including California, Texas, and Georgia. Perhaps you think that, well, Josh Allen played pretty well against the Patriots last week, and so you think his passing, rushing, or touchdowns, you can go all 3 in the same lineup, only in Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use the code DLLS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code DLLS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. All right, we're back here as we continue the DLS Stars post-game show, a 5-3 win over the Sharks tonight. And before we get into the breakdown, I wanted to go back to Luds on, you were talking about my previous question about how to feel about this. And I'm not trying to say that the Stars game wasn't good enough or, hey, should we apologize for wins? No, of course not. We never do. I guess I'm getting greedy because I want to see them start to suffocate games with the lead, like, say, the Florida Panthers are capable of doing. And to your point, that may not be something they did it against New Jersey, but that may be more of an outlier. It may still be that even though this team is not the Pete DeBoer run team, which was all about transition and rush chances, they still have quite a lot of that in their identity.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think that just because they bring a new coach in here, it's not like he's going to remake this whole team. He's going to take players and turn them into players that they're not. All you do is you let those guys run and do what they do, and you try to prop up the other ones and fine tune a little bit from in the defensive zone. I mean, and that's what we were complaining about for the most part, every single game last year. And I think they're doing. There's still times I think that they're still not just kind of it's not muscle memory yet, and there's still a little hesitation and going to where you're supposed to be at times. But in my opinion, from their own blue line to the other end of the rink, I mean, man, I don't know what more you can actually say about them and what you'd really want to tweak, because they're able to pull it off.
Luds, I'm curious because I'm seeing this in our chat, and I've been seeing it on social media, not just tonight, but in general. Are you worried about this team with all the stuff you're saying? Because I mean, I understand there's things they need to work on, but you don't get lucky to the second best record in the NHL and this good. You can get lucky and get a couple of those wins, obviously, or get great goaltending one night and steal one, but you don't just keep getting lucky in a league that's this good. So are you worried, or are we just nitpicking because we know this team can be that much better?
Well, Sam, you know me, I'm always nitpicking. I'm that guy that knows that you can't play a perfect game, but you got to be as close to if you aim for perfect and you fall on great, that's probably pretty good, because you're not going to land on perfect. But I think for me, the jury's still out. Until you play Colorado a couple different times, let's get and play let's play Minnesota Wild a couple times now that they've got Hughes and what's going to happen there. And then I would say when you play Carolina, there's a couple teams on the other side. And I think once you play those top teams from the East, and there's not as many, it doesn't seem to stand out, but the teams that unfortunately, all 3 of them are probably going to be at the top here. Until you play those guys 2-3 times or whatever time you're going to do it, to me, that's going to tell you a lot. It's going to tell you a lot more than playing against, these teams and even Anaheim tomorrow night. We know Anaheim's a good team, but over a course of a 7-game series, I'm fully confident that the Stars would win that series. So I just want to be able to see what they do. And it's more in the zone. It's more in the zone, obviously in their own zone. And then I am curious to see if teams can actually do anything against them to frustrate them. I don't think they've been frustrated yet. If they've been frustrated in games, it's probably because they're fatigued from a schedule standpoint, and they're frustrated because they don't have the gas to compete in a couple of games like they want to and they have to. So that's where I am. And then again, if Jake gets on his game, there you go. Now Jake is the one that can probably be the guy with this team and in what they're trying to accomplish here. Just make the saves that you're supposed to make and then come up with a couple of big ones every once in a while because your guys. That's why I think, Sean, for a goaltender being Jake or Casey, you let in a goal early, you're not panicking like a few other teams in this league because you're getting support at the other end of the rink.
I think it's to build off that, Luds. Whether I know it's not the sexiest way to win games and people kind of look for it this way, but this team is comfortable being uncomfortable. Let's just let's call it what it is, right? Like one of the most tense versions of a hockey game is a tie hockey game. The Stars have played the 5th most amount of minutes in the NHL this year, tied 821 minutes this year, tied so far this season. They have played the 4th least. They have the 4th least amount of minutes trailing. Obviously, Colorado is the least amount of minutes trailing. They are like 15th in the league when it comes to minutes spent leading. They've been in the lead for 700 minutes this season. When the Stars are a team, and part of goaltending is part of your. And people always say like, "Oh well, goaltending bails them out." Hey, goaltending's part of the team. The Stars are
spending a big part of the team.
Yeah, the Stars are spending that much money on Jake Oettinger for a reason. They got pretty fortunate with finding the right deal with Casey DeSmith that way, and so. I look at this Stars team where would you like to go see him run some teams out of the water a little bit more often? Of course, it would make life a lot easier for us. But the reality is this team is comfortable being uncomfortable in situations that a lot of teams crumble in. And it also has they also have a bit of that inevitability about them, right? Like right now, like you go and you watch Dallas and watch a ton of hockey. I go and watch and I see it in college hockey, you see it whatever level. The good teams are ones where you go and you see it's a 2-2 game. It's a 2-2 game, and you don't know how a team is going to win. Like just like Dallas tonight, right? Like it's a game. It's a tie game. It's a close game. You don't know how they're going to win, but you have a feeling like, okay, I know at some point there is going to be a difference that they are going to capitalize on a mistake, or they're not going to make the mistake. They're going to wait for the other team to make a mistake. Like there's that. And I think that inevitability. So often we're like, wait until they get a good team. Wait till they face a good team. The team is the 2nd best record in the league, and they are the second best. Yeah, and they have the 2nd best goal differential in the league, and like. If the Colorado Avalanche were just like if this team is in any other division, we're not nitpicking at all, right? Like just let's call it what it is, right? Like if this team is if this team's in any other division, it's like, all right, well, we're just getting ready for what we worry about that when we get to the Western Conference Final, or it's just the wild circumstance of this to me where. This team, because of the comparison and who they have to compete with in this division and who we know they'll have to play, it's going to be a bloodbath in the first round against the Wild. I am so excited for that series. It's going to be a great hockey chess match. 2 teams are going to beat the hell out of each other. Then whoever wins that's going to go have to beat the hell out of themselves again when they play Colorado. It's not fair. And because of that, that's why we bring in these extra levels of this. But this Stars team, and I've said it so many times now, they have some problems that really there are 28 other teams in the league would kill to have right now. And I mean, look at that San Jose team there, and you look at the way that they ran into. I think they like. I caught about 5 minutes of their post game show, and I think it was. I think we might have had Randy on our show, one of our all 32. Maybe we didn't. But either way, they're talking.
No,
about
we had Ted, who's their radio host and does
Yeah.
some TV for them, and then we had Shang on.
They're
But Randy's
talking about-
great too.
Yeah, but they're talking about the moral victories against playing Dallas, and they're like, well, this is a moral victory because you went toe to toe with a team that good. You went toe to toe with a team that is the bar for the league. You went toe to toe with a team that you know they're going to find a way to break you at some point. You didn't do it tonight, but at some point you will learn how to break teams the way they break teams. And I know there's a lot of Stars fans who watch this team over and over again and see all the flaws and see that, but there are so often times where I watch this team play and it doesn't have to be this way. It's not always the exact same formula every single night. Tonight, it was Jake Oettinger and the team and Justin Ritzkovian being in the right spot at the right time. But this team finds ways to be inevitable and break others. It just
John,
sucks that they... Yeah.
Everything that you said, because I wanted to say something about your comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Everything that you just said about the Dallas Stars, I don't think they're ever uncomfortable. I don't.
Yeah.
I think they're confident. I think that they now know there's no reason to be uncomfortable with this group. Because I've been on a couple teams, and yeah, the Cup teams were like that, but there were times when you kind of hit the wall and things aren't going the way you are. But it was always like you have the confidence that we're gonna be fine. You know what I mean? Especially in the regular season. Yeah, you get a little tight sometimes in playoff games and things like that because you expect certain things out of yourselves. But I just think this team they're a confident group, and they know they're not going to win the next 44 games or whatever's left.
Yeah.
They're not going to win all of those games. But I believe that their focus is the right, to game 83 and things like that.
Is this like let's just play this out real quick. So one of the teams I always think about is that Tampa team that won the President's Trophy, then got swept by Columbus in the first round, right?
Matt Duchene in Columbus.
Yeah. The Stars, they're going to get Minnesota in the first round. They're going to lose one of the first two games of the series. Like that's probably a reality, right? They're going to get Minnesota in the first round. They're probably going to be a 1-1 series. Yeah, they're probably going to lose game one. And we're going to sit here and be like, all right, this is what they've dealt with all year. They've dealt with this. Where there's teams that have gone and perfect example right there. Good job. I love Misty. They're like, there's teams that are good and run away with things in the regular season and that just end up getting their face smashed in the postseason because they aren't ready for that adversity and they haven't and yes, you'd love to win every game 8-0. And I think this Stars team, and I love this show and I love how critical the listeners and readers of this site are, because that means that's how closely they're paying attention. And that's passion and everything like that. So I love all of that. So I'm not trying to squash any of that. I just want to bring a little bit of this like larger world view of you are the monster and that's okay. Right? Like the Stars are one of the monsters, and you might not be the sexy monster, but you are the monster that kills people.
Man,
so.
I didn't get to be the sexy monster. I love it. All right. Up next, let's break it all down. We have a lot to get through, but we also need to rant a little bit, and we've done that, and that's good. So Stars After Dark continues. Breakdown time here on the DLS postgame. If you're a last-minute shopper like me, okay, well, maybe you're only a last-minute shopper like me. You know the feeling. The shelves are empty, ideas are running out, and the shipping days are getting short. Well, Aura Frames is the solution with the gift that feels personal, because it doesn't just seem like something you slap together last minute. It's a heartfelt gift that anybody on your shopping list would love, and it'll seem as though you've thought about this for months and months and months, maybe even a year. Unlimited upload photos and videos. You can download the Aura app and connect through Wi-Fi. It's super easy. You can even preload photos before it ships. just by adding anywhere. You don't have to be where the gift ultimately ends up. So for a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver mat frames, named #1 by Wirecutter, by using the promo code DLLS at checkout. That's auraframes.com, promo code DLLS. Qualis Roofing has over 700 5-star reviews and an average rating of 4.9. Qualis Roofing is one of the most trusted names in roofing across North Texas and Austin. Homeowners and businesses alike will constantly be praising and have been Qualis for their honesty, follow-through, and quality workmanship. Whether it's your home or your business, Qualis Roofing has you covered. Literally, they specialize in both residential and commercial roofing projects. One of the great things about being based right here in North Texas, Qualis isn't some storm-chasing fly-by-night crew. They're local, experienced, and committed to doing things the right way. In fact, they have some great giveaways. Schedule a free roof inspection and get a free DLS t-shirt. Replace your roof with Qualis and choose between a free Blackstone grill or a Traeger smoker, because getting a new roof should come with a little extra sizzle. LOL. Call or go online to schedule your free roof inspection, and don't forget to ask about your free grill. Visit QualisGC.com and search Qualis Roofing and Construction. That's QUALIS, or call 817-500-9008 and get started today. All right, guys, let's break it all down here as the Stars beat the Sharks tonight 5-3. We begin with the opening goal, and it is a Mikko Rantanen special. I'm glossing over a couple of plays they showed early in the game where there was a bit of a miscue behind both nets, a little goofy one where Nedeljkovic was sort of off to his side, and then obviously the puck that got turned over that led to Ethan Caldwell, a Harley turnover behind the net. Cardwell had a great chance in the mid slot. Good save by Oettinger there. But we're going to move on to that because Hintz gets the goal, top of the crease, an absolutely gorgeous play by, first Lindell had the initial pass, and then Rantanen with the primary one. But this is an all-finished goal right here.
Yeah, it was nice to see at the end of it, all four of the Finns on the ice come together and to get that shot of him. But, yeah, Rantanen does something through the middle of the ice to get himself over to the other side. And what was nice about it is Essa makes this little bank pass off the back wall and actually puts it right on the forehand of Mikko. But to me, the smart play was from the goal scorer. I just think that when Hintz came on, he comes off the bench in this one, so everybody doesn't see him, but he slows up as he starts coming into the slot because he doesn't want to get in there and because Essa actually still had the puck on the wall when Hintz is coming across that blue line. So he slows up once he gets about to the top of the circle so he doesn't skate himself into a bad spot and skate himself into a defenseman down low in front of the goaltender. And then he just stays out high. And then the pass that Mikko makes, I mean, between the legs of, I think it's Ferraro as a defenseman, but I mean, he spots a lane between the feet of the defenseman, puts it right on the tape, and then it's just redirected into the net. So, yeah, and all four of them had something to do with this one.
Great goal by Hintz, his 10th of the year. Rantanen continues to pile up assists. He'll have another one later. And then we have the no goal. Zach Ostapchuk had a double deflection. Ryan Reeves, who had a grade A chance right before that. Again, what are we doing? But great opportunity. He had a couple good looks tonight, did Reeves. He gets I think it was a double deflection here. I think Reeves tipped it legally below the crossbar, and I think Ostapchuk was the one that hit it above the cross. It took a long time for the review. This was an official review, not a challenge by the Stars. And as they did it, eventually decided to pull it off the board. So it would have been 1-1, stayed 1-0.
Yeah, did you guys, so did they have a better angle that they didn't show us on the broadcast? Because it probably was the right call, but it was with these angles, right? Like it's hard to, unless there's a camera even with the crossbar, because they called it for being above the crossbar. And I think it was the right call, but it's just from a angle perspective. I'd love to see the angle just to that flat angle, I guess, to call it from there, because it's hard for me with all of these on all of these clips I've seen don't show me the distinct evidence that it was a high stick. I believe it was. I would like for the NHL just to show me that so I could then be like, oh yeah, there it is. I'd like to be able to just show that image as opposed to the side angle and everything that we have to show right now.
And this is something that our producer Ryan would probably be the best to answer because of his extensive background in TV. But there are some buildings, and Sean, you know this too, that have more camera angles than other. Actually, Luds, when you were doing your color analysis with Razor for a couple years, you'll know that when you travel the league, some places you just don't have as many options as far as cameras available. Others you do. Dallas usually has a lot of cameras. They're pretty high-end operation as far as TV goes, whether it's the super slow-mos or some of the handhelds that they can get extra looks. You just don't necessarily get that in every building.
There's also angles that the league has that we sometimes just don't get, right? Like it's the whole they just don't end up in the broadcast. And I think this is one of those where, again, I think it's the right call. It's one where so often we get the little explanation from the league with the email of like, oh, at this time at night at 17:52 in game 7:55, this happened and this happened. And it's just a little legalese paragraph in a press release. I just wish the league would just be like, here's the screen grab, people. Just leave it. Just like this. That's on the. just show me. So
well,
I think they got the right call, so.
It led to Wyatt Johnston giving the start of the 2-0 lead because they waved off the Ostapchuk goal. And Wyatt, if we were at all concerned in the pregame shows, we were talking about, is he going to break out? This is the kind of goal that you need to see every now and then from Wyatt Johnston. This was a thing of beauty.
Yeah, this is a rocket, but this is a result of a team, again, that plays man on man. And it all started on the other side of the ice. And I think it was Duchesne and Rantanen in the corner. Two of their forwards go over there. They follow them outside the middle of the ice to the other side of the middle of the ice. And then Klingberg tries to go over and play man on man with Wyatt, and he gives him the little shimmy shake. And then this is just a rocket that's goes over the glove hand of the goaltender. I just thought it was a bullet. But again, all this ice opens up for Wyatt in the middle of the ice because two of the San Jose players want to, chase a couple guys on the other side. But it's that release that Wyatt has. It's just that quick little snapshot of his. And very rarely do you ever see Wyatt when he goes upstairs. Can you remember the last time he actually missed the net over the top of the net?
Yeah, and what a little you mentioned it. I don't know what word you use, but the shimmy shake or whatever. It's almost like a little bit of a rocker move. I think basketball does it, lacrosse does it a lot, where you're just trying to sell that you are thinking about either turning back, spinning back, taking a step back. He literally puts his weight all on his back foot, like he's going to spin to his backhand. Klingberg completely falls for it, and all you need is this much space, especially if you're Wyatt. You just open up, get the shot, but he puts that weight, jams his right skate into the ice and goes, and he just creates enough to get that shot off. That's thinking 3 steps ahead, and that's what we see. Not that Wyatt couldn't do it before, but that's what we see Mikko Rantanen do all the time, right? He's 2 steps ahead when he gets the puck. That's starting to rub off on some of these guys who now can make plays before they even have the puck. I just thought that was such a nice move.
All right, let's go to the second period now. And Sam, have you practiced your pronunciation of Shakir?
Mukamadulin. He was
there
involved.
You go.
Tonight. He was involved in this game.
He gets a goal. It's funny because they actually had a much better chance to start the period from Macklin Celebrini from the right circle. A huge post-to-post save from Oettinger. And then this one from the point, you talk about camera angles. I never really saw a great look of how this one went in, but here are some screenshots to take you through this face-off that led to the goal.
I don't want to say his name, so somebody else do it.
And give the play-by-play.
Well, Mukamadulin.
There you go. That guy scores the goal. Hey, here's what happened. A couple times tonight, couple centermen got beat on draws. Maverick gets beat on this one, and there was an angle that I thought I saw at the end that it may have hit Mav's stick because that went back to Jake's left somehow, and obviously the defenseman gets the goal, so it hit one of the stars, and I believe that. After Maverick lost that draw and he starts to go out, then he comes back to the middle. He's kind of battling with somebody. I think he gets his stick is on the ice, and I think it just touches his stick and goes to Jake's left.
Yeah, Dellandrea was the one that was in front. He clearly did not touch it because he refused to claim that and go to the front of the handshake line. But the goal counts. It's 2-1. The crowd's into it. And then Dallas gets the power play. And boy, is this, I mean, look, for all the, and I think justifiable nitpicking that we're doing, because as Lud said, and Sean, both of you guys really dug through this, the way to get yourself ready for the unbelievable expectations of, if you don't do it in the playoffs, the rest of the regular season just isn't, that's not where you're being judged, but you still have to go through it, is to push and fine tune. And as Lud said, always strive for the perfect game, even if you'll never actually get to it. Well, this power play is darn near close to perfect.
Yeah. Go ahead, Sean.
It's what it was 36 seconds of power play time tonight, and that's all they had. And this was, I mean, from the puck movement here to the way everything pings and it looks like a set play, and it probably is. I mean, honestly, it is a set play. It's something they work on in practice all the time. Sam can tell us that, but I mean, it is. Did anyone else watch this play? And I didn't know if it was Wyatt Johnston or who it was, but once the puck went to Rantanen there, kind of knew it was going to be a goal. I mean, and for me, Lud's interesting spot. Lud's from a defending perspective, I think that's Ferraro right there. If you go back one more frame, Ryan.
That was Liljegren on Liljegren was at the top run on Rantanen.
So, Lud's from a defending perspective, and a lot of times we talk about where working below the goal line and everything like that. But isn't there such a subtle brilliance here to where Rantanen is right there? Like, look at his feet right there. Because of where he is, he has the shot pass option, and being a left-handed shot right there, he has the ability to. Isn't there a subtle brilliance there with Rantanen, where he doesn't go so far behind the net, where the defender has to come and play him aggressively even more so, because he can't just take the pass, right? And it's one of those things that I just look at where there's so many cool little things about Mikko's game that I just find enjoying every time I watch him. And this one, I just got overly excited about watching where his feet were, because it opened up an extra half an inch. Not that he needed it with how good of a passer he is, but those are all the things that elite players do in minuscule moments. And then Wyatt Johnston just cleans it all up.
So hey, Ryan, go back to the last clips you were using there and go to where Rantanen. Okay, so this one here, and look at and this is what the defenseman will do. So I believe that this is Liljegren. I think.
Yes, it is 37.
Okay. So Liljegren's going stick on puck. Right thing to do. Look at what Rantanen does. Now go to the next frame. Nope. You got one more. You missed one right there. That one. That frame right there, what he's doing. Now go one just before that, where he had the puck stick straight out right there. Right now, he's going from this frame to that next one. Right now, the stick is on the puck. When Rantanen stands up and he pulls that stick in to his body and he lifts his right hand up, he's brushing that puck off. He's brushing it, and it's going on the inside of the heel of that defenseman's stick. I mean, it's so brilliant, that little pass, because he doesn't even pass it hard. He pulls the puck in and brushes it off at the same time, so it misses that stick blade and it misses the heel of that stick. And that's right where Wyatt is standing. And then he just stands there and says, okay, Wyatt, put it in the net. I mean, it's such a touch little pass what he does, because as a defenseman, you're like, I did everything right. There's no way that guy should be able to do that from there with that pass, because I think it was Hintz that put that puck down to him, and he gave him a hard pass. But to be able to do that all in one motion, see where Wyatt is, I'm blown away by Mikko a lot, what he does with the puck. And he stands there after he's done making these little plays. And when he gives it to someone like Robo or Hintz or Wyatt, I believe he thinks, well, this is a goal. This is a goal. because he just puts it right in the wheelhouse of Wyatt. And for the life of me, the kid leads the league in power play goals. I don't know why you just don't say, I'm taking the poison away.
You know why, Luds? Because if they do, Jason Robertson is wide open.
Else do it. That's fine. Right. But that's fine. But that's
you're saying
the best guy in the league right now.
He's not going to beat us. We're not going to let him do it. The
Somebody
thing that
else will do it.
I want to go quickly back, and then we got to get to the ad break. Sean, when you talked about that set play of the triangle, this power play is so efficient right now, and they know each other so well that they have multiple plays that they've worked on countless times that they can identify and execute from their initial perimeter setup, right? And it was one of those things where Miro plays it over to Hintz, and Hintz immediately turns and just sees Rantanen, and he's like, okay, this is on, tic-tac-toe, and it's in. But if that's not available, if Liljegren was 2 steps closer, he's looking at robo backdoor. He's taking his time. They have a way of sort of lulling teams into positions and then manipulating based on what's in front of them. And that, to me, is a very elite level of power play.
It's and I know we got to go to the ad break, but to me, we've talked a lot about Mikko Rantanen this year, for obvious reasons. And to me, we've talked about the moving out of the shadow of other team of his prior teammates, right? Like he was second fiddle with Cale Makar and Nathan McKinnon. That's just the reality. That's how it was. I think it's been really fun to watch him move to a power play where it is built on the touch passing, is built on that, because so much of the Makar McKinnon power play is built off of a little bit of that 2-man game and the power within moments where you don't expect it. And even though Mikko has the Moose nickname and brings all the power and everything like that, there's so much touch and there's so much there's so much of using a scalpel in a fine moment that comes out of this that I think has just been able to kind of soar with this, where I think he obviously had the power play points in Colorado, but I think this power play is set up a little bit more to run through him this way, even if he is not the primary puck carrier. So he's always the primary impactor of the play, even though he's not always the primary puck carrier when they have the 5-on-4.
All right, we got to get to the ad break, and coming up, we still have 4 more goals in your super chats to get to here on the DLS Stars postgame show.
Ryan, let's go to because the first goal we saw all 4 Finns, so let's go to the Finnish Mafia shirt. Let's start with that one. That's our best shirt, I think. Well, I don't know. And then since let's see. Well, now let's go to the Moose shirt. We keep on talking about the Moose. Let's go to the one of Mikko's shirts, all right? And then we've also got to talk about the Wyatt Johnston 16-bit, I believe. I don't know, 16, 18, 14, whatever. There it is. All right. And now let's look at them beautiful hats that Sam is probably going to get way before I get, even though I did extra to get them here early. So, and I did order the green and the white one. So, and I'm still confused with the Cadillac logo over on the side, but those are our DLLS hats. Sam, why don't you take it away? That's got to be about a minute or so.
Yeah, it's probably close. I have some interesting stuff to tell you, Luds. That Finnish Mafia shirt, someone told me to look at this company. I'll look up the name, and I'll probably write about this when I ask Mikko. But Mikko Rantanen, they named a disc golf course in Finland after Mikko Rantanen. And it's super cool. So I'm going to ask Mikko about it, ask Casey about it, as Sean was talking to me about. But the interesting part is someone pointed out that the Finnish Mafia logo is the exact logo that a popular Finnish disc golf company uses, and they use it at that course. So I think we were ahead of the game here. We have the best shirt for the Finns. I know there's a lot of them, but we have the best shirt, and you can get it 20% off if you become a diehard. 20% off merch, 20% off events like our takeover, articles without ads, all of the articles, all kinds of cool stuff, and the Discord where you get all the cool access.
Hey, Sam, you remember when I was at a party and I found somebody was in there? I mean, wouldn't that be something if Ryan had that picture right at but he doesn't.
Ready, Ryan, go.
That's asking a lot.
I was at a birthday party, and in the crowd, in the living room, was some dude wearing that Finnish Mafia shirt. That'll come up. We'll get that. We'll close the show with that.
I saw some random guy took a picture with Roope Hintz at practice too. Big beard guy. I think you know him.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, let me get you back on the tracks here, fellas. I thought as that second period power play goal went in that the Stars were really in control for a while, and they had a bunch of chances. No high dangers, but, they for a stretch of time, they look really good. Then they get called for a penalty, and that led to a power play. Now, they didn't score, but Klingberg, Celebrini had a couple, Wenberg in front, Eklund had a chance at the side of the net. There was a real scramble around Jake Oettinger, who was really composed in those moments, and they didn't score. But that led to a Collin Graff goal off of a faceoff. Luds talked about the first faceoff. Well, it happened again. This time Celebrini makes, mincemeat out of Colin Blackwell.
No, it's called, here's what it's called. He clowned Blackwell.
Yeah.
He literally clowned him. Like it was not cool. So Celebrini goes straight ahead, and then he does all the work here. What I didn't get about this is now all of a sudden we revert to man on man. Labushkin goes and grabs one guy, and then our three forwards. These three people you see here. Harley's one of them here. Now all of a sudden you got Blackwell coming back, but Harley goes here. We have three forwards standing in front of the net with the goal scorer, eventual goal scorer, Graff. And then all of a sudden, that's a perfect shot, Ryan.
Oh no!
Everybody just takes off. And they just want to follow the puck. And then you've got, obviously, as we saw tonight, one of the most talented players in the league, spots Graff all alone. Jake makes the first save, though. But again, everybody's looking the wrong way. You're going the wrong way, guys.
That's a bad picture.
Oh, my God. Well, it's bad because the first three guys that you see are all forwards. Both defensemen are standing up there staring back at Graff as he's tapping the rebound past Jake's right leg. Right there.
Going the wrong way.
Yeah.
All right. So that's the second goal of the night for Collin Graff. He makes it 3-2. Or excuse me, that was his first. He'll have another one we'll get to in a minute. I want to take this moment to play a very brief clip from our pregame show tonight, just so you know, sometimes we actually know what we're talking about.
I know Alex very well. Alex is a mad gambler with the puck, so there's entertainment factor on that end of.
He's the reason why we should not have the trapezoid rule anymore.
Yes,
Sean, bravo, sir, because you called it. I always say when Luds gets a move, it's our Ludstradamus moment. Well, you put on your prognostication hat for tonight.
Ludstradamus.
Yeah, it was. That's what's horrible timing for it too, right? Like less than a minute left in the period. Your team is, and it was just the decision making here was. It wasn't decision making. It was just. It was horrible.
I don't know. I thought it was decision making. See, this one here. He looks up and he just wants to make sure that Ritzy Ritz is wide open. and then the next clip, he actually took a second look. He just wanted to make sure that was him and he was wide open and he was actually had his stick on the ice so that he could give him a tape-to-tape pass. And he does.
Yikes.
What do you think the exact moment was where he realized he was in trouble? Was it when the puck was off his stick?
I mean, best case scenario here.
Right there, he's looking.
Best case scenario here, it's on your defenseman's stick, skating towards his own net with four checkers on it. I don't know the upside here, Sean.
We need aggressive goalies playing the puck in the corners below the goal line instead of this restricted area, because for all the Marty Turcos out there or Martin Brodeurs that would end forechecks because they would get those dump-ins and just fling them forward, there's way too many bad decision goalies out there for these kind of entertaining chaos moments.
I love Ritskovian. I love that he got the goal, but I was rooting for Nedeljkovic to make that save because that is your street hockey dream come true. You chip it out and you just make the sprawling save. He didn't get there.
Well, go back to
the wanted player on the ice was Maverick Bork. because Maverick was thinking, I was just there about earlier. You could have given it to me because I've only got one goal in like 15 games or whatever.
He could really use one, couldn't he?
I'm a believer that there are pros to goalies handling the puck and everything like that. But if you are, and I don't watch every Sharks game, but if you're put yourself in Ryan Warsofsky's shoes right now, coach of the Sharks, I, off the top of my head, can point to this game where, okay, Alex Nedeljkovic put a puck right onto the opponent's stick for what turned into the game-winning goal. I can take you back to October 10th or 11th if you want to go look up his horrific his horrific experience against the Vegas Golden Knights. The Vegas one. I mean, it's like this. It's not. I don't want to.
That was a game they should have won in regulation.
Exactly. So, like, you talk about kicking a guy while he's down right now from your San Jose perspective. This Sharks team is second in the wild card spot. Let's say they do make a little run. Let's say they do get into this whole competition. They miss the playoffs by 2 points.
Oh.
like there's and you can go back, and obviously there's lots of mistakes that happen over the course of a season and this and that and the other, but it's pretty hard to ignore those. So,
all right, let's quickly go to the second Collin Graff goal. This was the one that was finished off a beautiful transition play. I don't know about you guys, and ultimately it didn't affect the outcome of the game. I thought Miro Heiskanen maybe had a gripe with the referee. There looked like a stick up in under his arm, a little bit of a hook twist to him. He didn't get the call. I don't know what Miro has to do to get some respect from the refs, but this transition goal was really well done by the Sharks.
Yeah, Miro would have just got up. Well, Graff let go of the stick behind the net. There's one more frame here. I think that if I'm remembering it right, there's one more frame here, and Graff lets go of his stick. He's not even holding his stick, and Miro's still standing up. Then Miro goes down. Then Miro takes his time getting up, and that's when the puck goes down to the other end of the ice. But down as it's going down to the end of the ice, it's Colin Blackwell. Well, again, you've got Radek Faksa, I think, and Blackwell and one defenseman back there. So here we go again. But again, Blackwell has everything figured out right here, and then all of a sudden he stops skating. And that's when Radek decides to go to the puck carrier, and Blackie stops his feet, and that's when Graff is standing all alone. And again, what do we got? Who's defending back there? Number 15 and 12. On your sheet, I believe they're forwards.
I don't think you want Miro and Essa standing where they are.
Standing at the top of the circle, looking back at Graff tapping the net.
Yeah, those ECAC boys, man.
Yeah.
So that made it 4-3. There were a couple of good looks. This is where Oettinger really got. Actually, you know what? For a stretch there, all of a sudden, Robo woke up. He had 4 shots, 4 good looks. Nothing stand up, jump off the page, but he was looking for that put away goal. But then Jake stopped Eklund on that one-handed backhand drive to the net. Wenberg had a rebound at the top of the crease. Jake came up with. Then 6-on-5. Boy, I tell you, Macklin Celebrini, he is a threat. That one-timer, wherever he is, he was on the right circle a lot, but then he had one over on the left side, and then Jamie Benn scored an empty net goal from the right slot of his defensive zone. That was a nice finish because I thought Matt Duchene was going to score, but he couldn't flip one over John Klingberg. But even with the Stars with the lead, boy, Celebrini, I don't know. Did any of you guys think that he was really close to tying this game? You just have that think, like, if you keep giving him shots, one of them is going to find its way in.
Anytime the puck is on his stick, it's got a chance of going in.
Yeah. He looks better than his whole team. Like, he's clearly the best player on that team, especially with Will Smith out. There were countless plays where he makes a hard pass and the Sharks just couldn't handle it, or he's trying to get up in the play and no one can keep up with him. So he is leagues ahead of a lot of players on that team, and it shows.
When we had the Sharks in Dallas on December 5th, and I talked to John Klingberg, he looked over at Celebrini and said, "This guy is a legit talent." He said, "He's really, really good." Obviously, we knew that already, but it's always nice to hear a guy who was pretty elite offensive defenseman for a long time in the NHL. In fact, he's still third on the North Stars franchise history in goals, assists, and points by a defenseman. And when he says this guy's legit, I think that carries some weight.
Word.
Yeah.
All right, guys, Stars get the win. We got we've done an hour, but we got to get those super chats in. So let's start with I Love Missy 1985 with an Oettinger and a Johnston. I didn't have a chance to watch this game because I was driving to Virginia, Capitals territory. It's about a 2-day drive if you don't want to do the Craig Ludwig and just drive all night long to visit my family for the holidays. But I'm glad the Stars got the win over my second favorite team. Happy birthday, Otter. Yeah, second favorite team, the Sharks. Interesting.
Drive safe. Happy holidays.
Yeah, drive safe.
Matt Spears, 9880 with a Ben and Johnston. We need some live post games at Hooters.
Yeah.
Word.
Word.
I knew Luds would be on board with that. He also thinks it might be time to wrap this up. Colorodis with a Haskin and a 99 cup here. Just saw Ritzy's goal. Jim Ross voice. Good God Almighty. I am not going to try to imitate the WWE legendary broadcaster. That man had a family. Also, happy birthday, Otter. Well, that was just a terrible play by Nedeljkovic, and we all know that. Finally, Sam's favorite, Finger Blaster 911, a Oscar Beck and Craig Ludwig, or it could be John Klingberg. I'm telling you, the jokes just run themselves here, guys. Vote. Best 2026 Olympic sweater design goes to USA Blue. We're going to do a segment about this maybe Monday if we have time.
That's the correct answer, though.
But we'll show you sometime in the next couple of weeks when we have a daily show. We'll go through the Olympic jerseys. But yes, that USA Blue does look very nice.
Classic.
All right, guys.
Terrible.
Let's start with Sean, Luds, and Sam. We'll go in that order real quick, just right across the screen here. Oh, we got another one. I wasn't even ready for that one. We have two more. Oh, goodness. Clorotis with a Casey DeSmith and 99 cup beer. Sean, plug your books.
Oh, yeah, cool. Go buy 100 things Stars fans should know and do before they die. Craig Ludwig there's a nice acknowledgement to Craig Ludwig in that book, actually, because Craig drank me under the table the first time I sat down to interview him about it. So
as will happen.
Did I approve you using my name in that book?
Yes, I think you did. I believe I actually believe the final line that I remember was, yeah, just when you do an audiobook, just give it to me and send it to me. That was
I'm not reading that.
We're still waiting for someone to greenlight the audio version. So yeah,
Sam, I'm still laughing because we saw exactly in real time how long it took before you understood what plug your books meant.
I was looking behind him thinking like, oh, what his books are dying, like he's got to charge them or something.
Is something like spilling or leaking? Plug them. No. All right, one more. Ardell with a Ludwig and a Harley. When is Harley going to play well?
It's a good question.
No, I'm just going to say the same thing, Sam.
No, really, he's surprised me. He's not playing horrible or anything. He has such a high standard. He has not put it together yet. And
does he look like Sam, does he look like a $10 million defenseman to you right now?
No, and he's basically, I've seen some people previewing it. He's playing himself off of Team Canada. That's
it's because he's worrying about playing for Team Canada.
It could very well be. Yep.
That's what I think this is.
I saw somebody, maybe it was Jason Zamers on Twitter today, saying after Jacob Chikrin scored his, I believe, 13th and 14th goals of the season for the Caps tonight, why he hasn't been getting more Canadian talk. And he's a left shot D. Is he in the contention to push Harley out of a spot?
Well, also you have. I was in Detroit on Tuesday. Jim was there, not just for the Stars, watching for Hockey Canada too. They really like Matthew Schaefer.
How can you not?
Yeah, you should.
And
all right,
if you're
gonna, I'm going to ask you guys. I'm going to ask you guys down the row here. Just a quick look ahead because we have a show tomorrow night. Pregame at 8:30, game at 9. I don't think Sean is on tomorrow night, so Sean, we'll start with you for that. Anaheim Ducks, back-to-back, probably see Casey DeSmith. What are your thoughts about going into the Anaheim game tomorrow after this win tonight?
Go and the Ducks are obviously have taken a nice step this season, but for a couple of reasons, and you're supposed to. Good teams find ways to impress us in the second game of back-to-back and be uncomfortable being uncomfortable, like I said. And this Stars team, record-wise, is one of the best teams in the league on the road. One of the best teams in general, but one of the best teams in the league on the road. And I think you go in there and you don't go in phased. And I don't know if they lose, it could happen. But I'm just interested. This team keeps finding ways to get it done, and it wouldn't surprise me if they did. So.
When was their last game? Tuesday?
They played a back-to-back Monday, Tuesday at the Rangers, and then in
2 days
Columbus. 2 days off.
2
2
days.
days off?
Yep, after a 5-game Eastern Conference road trip.
They'll be rusty.
Well, do you think, Luds, the Stars haven't lost the second night of a back-to-back yet this year, and because they had 2 non-game days, is this a little bit better for Dallas, at least because it isn't as though this is the 3rd game in 4 nights yet?
I don't know. I think that you had Celebrini to worry about tonight. Tomorrow, you probably got 3 or 4 of them to worry about. So,
Sam, you had a Twitter suggestion earlier today about possible lineup changes for tomorrow. You want to share?
Yeah, I just think I know Bastian was sick a little bit here, but I think that Goldson was very clear that he didn't want anyone to sit for very long. This was 6 games in a row now for Bastian. He's played well when he's in. I think he should come in. I also think we know Adam Ernie was potentially going to be playing on this trip, and that the trip is this. So he could come in and give some fresh legs. That they have options. I think they should use those options. They're not going to take out a defenseman probably for Capobianco, but I'd like to see Bastian in there. And I think Dallas needs to make this game sloppy and not sloppy, but sluggish and not a lot of shots. If they don't, it's not going to go their way. I don't think tomorrow they come out and put up 5 goals.
Yeah, what was it, 7-5? They lost to Anaheim the last time. So, Sam, my question to you then, my follow-up is, who do you take out to let Bastian and or Ernie come into the lineup?
I don't think people are going to like this, but I think Maverick Bourque could use a couple games off.
Word. And that's spoken like a guy that says we've done enough. Sean, do you agree? Do you think Bourque is the first guy out?
Word.
Wow. I love it. Okay. Well, that's going to do it.
Coming.
Big thanks to everybody for all the super chats and all the comments in general. The chat was fired up tonight. Some great debate and maybe some dark clouds, and Sam unplugged his mic already. That means he's done. That's great. He might as well just unbuckle his belt and take his pants off too. There goes Luds. There goes Sam. And we'd like to thank Sean for joining us. And for our producer, Ryan Vaughters, I'm Owen Newkirk. 5-3 Stars beat the Sharks. We'll see you tomorrow night at 8:30. Actually, it's later tonight to play the Ducks here on DLLS. I had it.